will I do another series after Alex? Well, I have to finish my other series first. I have another series called The Power of Five, which has 5 children from around the world. It's sort of Stephen King for kids, and it's 5 children from around the world fighting the forces of evil, and the forces of evil are represented by devils, demons, witches, monsters, and politicians. And those books, one of which, as I say, takes place in Hong Kong, has got one more book to write, and that's the next book I'm going to do, which is a very, very big book set all over the world, to finish that off. I've got one other Alex Rider book which I'm going to write. It's not exactly an Alex Rider book, but I want to do a book about Yasen Grigorovich. Now, Yasen, for those of you who've read lots of Alex Rider books, Yasen Grigorovich is the assassin who has tried to kill Alex in a couple of the books and has turned up in quite a few of them. And he's actually based on a real person. I've said I often use people I meet. I was at Sweden doing a book festival, and I met Sweden's #1 children's illustrator. And his name, I was introduced him, he said, how do you do? And I said, what's your name? Yasen Grigorovich, he said. And I said, gosh, with a name like that, you should be an assassin. And now he is. You know, it's rather a fun thing to have done. And I want to write one book about him. What interests me, I want to write a book, and this actually comes back to your question. Nobody has ever written a book about an evil child, about what makes a child. I don't believe such a thing exists as an evil child. But what makes a child become evil? Here are 2 boys, 14 years old. One is Alex Rider. He loses his parents, he has a very tough life, and he becomes a spy and he saves the world. Another one is a boy called Yasen Grigorovich, growing up in Russia, and the same thing happens to him, but for some reason he takes the other road and becomes evil. I mean, the boy who asked the question at the back there, what could make you into a cold-blooded killer? Maybe you already are, I don't know, but the idea that something can happen to you in your life to turn you into a monster is, I think, interesting and worth pursuing. So I'm going to write this book called Yasen, which is sort of number 10 in the Alex series, except Alex isn't really in it, so I don't consider it an Alex book. But that will finish that series. And then after that, there's one more Diamond Brothers book. Anyone read a Diamond Brothers book here? Oh, lots of hands going up. Well, the Diamond Brothers, who are 2 of my favorite characters, Tim Diamond, 26, a very, very stupid detective with his much, much smarter 13-year-old brother. And I have got one more book in that series to finish, where the 2 boys go to Australia to meet their father, who, as you know, is working in Sydney as a door-to-door salesman selling doors. And they go to Sydney to meet him, and they have an adventure in Australia, which I plan to write in about 3 or 4 years' time. And that, actually, I think is going to be it. I think at that point, this is like 5 more years of writing, that's when I'm going to hang up my pen as far as children's books go. So the answer to your question is at the moment, no. I don't think I have got another series in me. I think I'll have done enough by then, and it's time to move along and let somebody younger take over and do sort of new and fresh stuff. I think it's the hardest lesson for a writer to learn, is when to stop. But that's when I'm going to stop.